So we're going to go back to the year 1992. On the 15th of August, you started up front for Coventry City in the 3 p.m. game against Middlesbrough. A bit of history was made on that first day of the Premier League on a topic that's actually been misreported a few times. So what I'm about to tell you, I think maybe 3 people in the world know, including a family member of yours who the information came from via an academic called Dan Kilvington. So on that day in 1992, you became the first British South Asian to play in the Premier League.
Oh, wow. Okay, really?
What's your reaction to that news?
So Clayton had reached out to me years ago and talked about it, but I kind of dismissed it. I'm super proud because I love my dad to death. But when I was playing, when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s was really difficult. It was a really difficult time racially. It was difficult. And me being from a mixed culture, people didn't know if I was black, white, Asian, Indian, Pakistani. There was a lot of grief. There was a lot of racism. You know, I got it from everyone. The only thing that saved me was being a footballer. When you're a good footballer, you know, people accept you. And I was just a journeyman pro. I played 14 years in England, maybe 270, 280 games before I came over here. I'm not an Alan Shearer or anyone like that. And so I'm so proud of being a former professional. I've been coaching 26 years now. And coaching to me is way more important because I've worked with thousands of kids. I do this day in, day out. I love my job. So I don't think I was anything special. I am half Anglo-Indian. I'm proud of that.
But it's sad, right? Because the issue is people thought Jimmy Carter was the first British South Asian to play in the Premier League. And his story is really similar to yours. He kind of came out as Asian because no one knew and people assumed because of his name that he was English. Those stories have been lost and misreported, and actually it's really special to be able to tell you this because it will mean a huge deal to so many people.
I shied away from my dad's side, and I'm ashamed to admit it, because as a young football player, I wanted to be accepted and I was scared. The 70s and 80s was rough, it was tough, you know. I wanted to be white and English, and I'm ashamed to admit that. I embraced my German side, but as I got older, and as I became a father myself, you know, my love for my dad was grown and grown, and I love him to death. And I feel I have an excuse because I was a young kid who just tried to fit in. I wish I could go back and embrace it more and stand up and be brave and say, I'm half Anglo-Indian. I don't care what you think about me, you know. But when you're 14, 15, 16, you just want to be accepted. And I wasn't mature enough.
Do you think that's just because people didn't really talk about ethnicity and heritage in the 90s, or is it something else?
It was too difficult a topic. The people involved in football back there didn't want to cause any ripples. You've got to rock things to get things going. And obviously what happened over here in America has really had a positive, it was a horrible, horrible things that happened, but it's become a positive thing from it. I think people just didn't want to rock the boat.
It's a bit of history, right? And that's crazy. And we didn't know how you'd react. We didn't know if you knew.
I'm a real shy person, believe it or not. I'm very shy. You know, I'm sweating right now. And we hear from the superstars all the time. But I guarantee you, the stories of the journeyman pros are way more interesting and way more colourful and way more inspiring. It's just nice that someone's interested in my background, you know, not just a football, but important cultural things.